Hello, music appreciation students. This is Mrs. Brown, and in this video, I am going to be going over the 2.12 graded assignment, and it is titled Listening, Designing Criteria to Evaluate a Music. So in Unit 1, we briefly learned about evaluating music, and we're going to continue evaluating music here in Unit 2. So just to talk through the assignment, you are going to create a design criteria for evaluating music, and then you're going to apply your design to your own musical critiques regarding the quality and effectiveness of musical performances. So those are the basic directions. So what does that mean? We're going to go over that together. First off, you're going to write a paragraph meaning I need at least 4 sentences on what makes a piece of music good. With all writing, I expect that you begin with a capital letter, you use a complete sentence, and end with a period. Always, it's best to explain your answers. So you're going to include technical elements and emotional elements. So let's go over what these technical elements are and what these things mean, and then also the emotional elements. So it says, write a paragraph on what makes a piece of music good, and you're supposed to include technical elements. So is it the intonation, the tempo, meter, rhythm, harmony, dynamics, articulation, instrumentation, togetherness, accuracy, quality of performance? What is intonation? What is tempo? So to be able to write a good paragraph, you need to know what those things are. So I'm going to open up this PowerPoint here, and I'm going to talk through what each of these things mean. So intonation is the accuracy of pitch. So imagine a violinist is supposed to be playing a high C right here, and they play it, but it's just a little saggy in the pitch, or maybe a little bit flat, or it's a little bit above the pitch, it's a little bit sharp. Their intonation or their accuracy of pitch is not accurate. So intonation is how accurate are the instrumentalists or the performers on playing or singing their notes. Intonation. Next, we have dynamics and tempo. Dynamics are how soft or how loud the music is played. If the music is it too soft? Is it too loud? Is it supposed to be soft and they're singing it loud? Is it supposed to be loud and they're singing it soft? Are they playing the dynamics correctly? Tempo. Here are the musical terms for tempo and what they mean. Is the tempo steady throughout the song? Is it allegro, which is fast? Does it stay steady fast, or does it slow down and speed up to where it is distracting from the music? Next, we have meter. So meter is the number of beats per measure, and so the top number tells you how many beats per measure, and the bottom number tells you what type of note will receive the beat. Now we haven't learned a lot about this in class, but there should be a steady one. Let's say 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are the performers playing the meter correctly? Okay, that's a basic description of that. Rhythm. Rhythm are groups of notes together. So down at the bottom of the slide, you can see the rhythm patterns. So here's a simple one, T, 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 ta. So as you're listening to a song, as rhythm important to you, when you're evaluating rhythm, you can say, is it syncopated? Is it even? Is it uneven? Are there many rhythms, meaning polyrhythmic? Is it accented? Is it unaccented? Are the rhythms being played correctly? Okay, melody and harmony. So melody is the horizontal movement, the main tune of music, whereas the harmony is underneath the melody, which means that there are more than one note being played at a time. So in melody, there's just one note being played at a time, and then harmony is more than one note being played at a time. There is always a melody in a song, which is that main tune. So is that important to you? And in evaluating it, are they singing the melody correctly? Is the harmony being sung or played correctly? Articulation. Just like when you speak, you can articulate your words. You can enunciate them more, or you can kind of put them together so you sound muffled. I just said you can put them together so you sound muffled. Just like when you speak, and when you play music, you articulate the notes. And here are some examples for you to look at of how the notes are articulated in music. Next, there's instrumentation. What instruments do you hear being played together? That is the instrumentation of a song. It could be all or none of these. These are just some examples of instruments. There are many, many more options that could put together an instrumentation for a song. And then last, I don't have any visuals for this, but togetherness. Are the performers playing together and meshing together well, or is one off, one on? Accuracy. Are the performers accurate in their dynamics, their tempos, their articulation, etc.? And then the quality of the performance. That's pretty self-explanatory. What was the overall quality of the performance? If it was poor, why? If it was fantastic, tell me why. Okay, so those are the basic technical elements of an evaluation. Now, emotional elements, I have some images here that provoke emotion, that will show emotion. So how does the music speak to you? So as you're listening to it, what thoughts come to your minds? What emotions are brought up? Okay, and so then you can describe that. And then would you like to hear this piece of music again? Why or why not? If you don't, there's something that was triggered in you that's making you not want to listen to it again. If you do, there's something in it, once again, that is triggering for why you want to hear it again. So basically, you need to first determine what emotion did the music evoke in you. Okay, and that's all very personal. So if we go back to the assignment, you're writing a paragraph on what makes music good. We've had some practice on this in Unit 2. Be sure to include technical and emotional elements, okay, that we just discussed. Being specific. What makes music good to you? Okay? Now, using what you discussed in question 1, so let's say that you chose tempo, dynamics, rhythm, and instrumentation, and would you like to hear this piece again? You would then create an evaluation rubric for listening to music. Okay, and you're going to use this evaluation rubric. So what does an evaluation rubric look like? They can look many different ways, but here is one example. I have chosen a few technical elements and then a few emotional elements, and chosen 5. I would recommend that you choose at least 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've given some criteria for what makes something excellent, what makes something developing, to use to evaluate songs. So if you wanted to use a criteria like this, you could simply in the document, you're simply going to click on, let's go home. You're going to click on insert, and then you can click on a table. And then you can add in your criteria using this here as an example. Okay. So then once you create your evaluation rubric, you're then going to copy this by simply clicking here, and then you'll copy it. Yours will be completed and filled out, and then you'll paste this into part 2 below to evaluate each listening sample using what you created. Okay, so let's go over that again. You're going to create an evaluation rubric. This is an example of what one might look like. And then you're going to create that here. Then you're going to copy and paste that into each listening sample and use it to evaluate the piece of music. Okay? Yours does not have to look exactly like the example. In fact, you need to make it your own so that it is relevant to what makes music good to you. Okay, so last I want to go into the course and look at the assignment and where the listening samples are. So if we go to Unit 2, scroll all the way down to 2.12. And then click where it says practice, listening, designing criteria to evaluate music. We'll go to page 2, and this is where, did we go? And here is where we find the music samples. Here's the first sample, the second, the third, and the fourth, and then you will choose your own fifth. All right, so that is the basic rundown of completing this assignment. If you have any further questions, please reach out and I'd be happy to help.